Yo,
88 Blessed Beats was good, my digger.
my brother, what's good with you, man?
And yo, happy to have you on. Welcome to Strictly for My Diggers.
Nah, I appreciate you having me on, brother.
Yeah, man, you've been putting in some work. I've seen your name around here and there. I think we had followed each other for a minute too on
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. I was definitely tapping in with your stuff. I saw a bunch of interviews. I saw when you did the one with Swifts.
right.
Yeah, all that. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. First and foremost, how's your mom?
She's doing okay. We're all going through it with this whole, everybody getting sick. You don't know whether if it's a cold, if it's the flu, if it's COVID. Like it's
Right.
a nasty time, bro. So,
Yeah,
I'm just making sure she's okay.
yeah. Just gotta try to save it up as best as you can.
Exactly. How you doing now? You
I'm
good?
doing good, man. I'm doing good. Like I said, I'm working on season 3, and you were the first person on my list.
Oh, I appreciate that,
Yeah,
man.
I had that written down. I was like, yeah, I definitely want to get you on, because my man had hit me up the other day. He's like, yo, the dude from DOS Effects, he copied your idea. And I'm like, well, yo, great minds think alike. And I'm like, he's telling me, yo, he had Ninth Wonder on, he had Havoc one time. Well, I said, well, my niche is different because I'm looking at the people that they're gonna be passing the torch to. You yourself, all the up and coming ones. They're quote unquote sons. You know what I mean? They're disciples. That's who I am. The ones who before they even get to that level. Those are the ones. You know what I'm saying? The younger ones, the ones who are in that vein. That's why I come in that, and things like that. You know what I'm saying? So I read that you're from Williamsboro, New Jersey.
Yep.
Yo, that's crazy because I had a roommate in college. He was from Williamsboro, New Jersey. He used to rhyme he used to go by Mr. Mental.
Okay.
Or whatever. Yeah, from Williamsboro. Because that's in what, South Jersey?
South Jersey, yep.
Right, so you're near what, Camden and Philly?
Yeah, I'm about, let's say about 15, 20 minutes from Camden, and I'm about like a half hour from Philly. So
Right. Area code 609. Okay.
Yeah.
Got you. So when it comes to this whole beat thing, like, was you rhyming first, or was you just jumped into beats?
I jumped right into beats. So what had happened was I'm gonna get into it just a little bit real quick. So I guess you could say last summer, I sat with my boy Xavier. He's a great producer as well. And I was sitting there, I was like, bro, I really want to produce music. And, I've always been, an avid, I love hip hop, I love where it comes from. I love the samples. I love the origin of some of our favorite music, so it's like, I'll always sit back and listen to the samples and things like that. And I'll be like, yo, man, I think I would be a dope producer. It's just me having to learn the tools of the trade and really just learn how to do it in general. Right. So I talked to my boy last summer and he was like, yo, bro, if you're really serious about it, if you get your shit, we can get it popping and I can start and I can teach you how to do it. So I got the machine because one, I've heard about the machine. Two, my boy actually has a machine. He has a Machine Plus. So I figured, let me just get that. That'll be my first startup tool to, make beats. And I started officially in November of last year. So I talked to him in August. I eventually got my stuff in November. So ever since then, I've just been putting in work. I have great mentors, producers like Free Mind, my homie Sire, he's a dope producer, my homie Xavier. So many people have helped me throughout this journey, and I just put in the work day in and day out, bro. When I first started, I would put in on weekends at least 8 to 9 hours a day and just sit down with it, learn the ins and outs of it. I'm not the biggest, I guess you could say, musician, so it's like I have no background in music, so it's not like I played the drums or the piano or anything. I'm learning straight from scratch. Right, so so that's how that started. I've just been grinding ever since, bro.
So you started just last year?
Just last year.
Wow, that's dope right there. And you started with the machine. So I've heard stories about the machine. Like, a lot of people don't like the machine. It's you and another MC producer that I talked to, they love the machine. What is it about the machine that you love?
I think that the workflow is very, very simple. Well, not simple because now that I'm actually getting it. At first, it was complicated as hell. But you know, as you start to learn it, the workflow just becomes easier. Like I heard with the MPC, you have to do certain things, and you got to move it over to another thing just to do what you got to do. So in the machine, I don't need like another DAW. I don't need like a Fruity Loops, or I don't need anything like that. I can do everything I want to within my machine. So that's one thing that I think is very beneficial when it comes to machine, that I don't have to, all right, so let me take the sample, I chopped it here, let me move it to here now, put the drums in, and let me like, you know, it's I can do it all in one thing. So I think that's one of the biggest things for me.
Right. Now, do you think you'll ever move away from the machine?
Part of me, and I was talking to Swifts about this like weeks ago, I was like, bro, I know you had one. I was like, part of me wants an MPC. I think every producer, at least one time in their career, who doesn't have an MPC, probably said, yo, eventually I'm gonna get an MPC. Like, it's just the mystique behind it. You know, the MPC is one of the illest, you know.
Yeah, like I said in many interviews that I have, I started with the MPC 2000 XL, and I was on it for like 20 something years. And then I've been on the MPC studio maybe about a year now. I love the work.
Oh, wow, okay.
The work with it is great. A brother put me onto it, and it's just been beautiful ever since. I think the next piece of equipment I'm gonna get is the MPC2, the one that you can take with you. That's the battery pack with the speaker. You know, so when you're traveling and all that, you know.
Yeah, I know that the Machine Plus, you don't even need your laptop. Like everything, like the screen is up. It's like you have the machine, and then the screens are up top. And then, like you said, all you do is plug in your speakers or your headphones, and you can do what you do. So yeah, but I have the MK3, which is the smaller version, which I plug into my laptop, and then I do what I do. So
okay, cool. Now I see your beat vids when it says you're cooking. I don't see a turntable. So are you not digging for vinyl, or are you digging online?
See, I'm guilty of not using vinyl, and I do need to get a vinyl player, because everybody tells me like, Trav, you need to get a vinyl player, bro. Like vinyl is just the essence of a vinyl, and just the stuff that you find within vinyls, and just some of the samples that you will never be able to find on YouTube or any other type of sample pack or anything. Like vinyls have some crazy stuff. So it's like, you know, I am gonna get me a vinyl player soon, and I definitely start doing that.
Definitely turntable. Yeah, because I started, with the vinyl and all that, but I can't hold my place can't hold all that vinyl no more. You know what I mean? So I've been digging online and just making it do what it do. You know what I'm saying? So digging
because then you end up with crates and crates of vinyls in your crib. You just like, where am I gonna put this?
I got vinyl under my sink, in my bathroom sink. I got vinyl all in my bathroom tub.
Oh man!
In this room right here, I got vinyl and plate in my linen closet. I just can't keep digging, and I don't have the space for it no more.
Yo, man. It's hard. Once I get a vinyl player, I may hit you and be like, yo, bro, send me a couple. I'll cash app you.
Man, because I just got too much stuff, man. But I think you really enjoy the process of going to the record store and digging, and a lot of times, I don't have a whole lot of knowledge on records, so I go by the cover. If the cover looks funky, looking like, oh, I'm gonna take this, might have some ill shit on it. Because I was always a dollar crate digger. You know what I mean? I dig in the dollar crates, the Goodwills, the flea markets, things like that. I was never one to spend like $40 and $50 on a record. That just wasn't me. So if I can find it for 50 cents, go to the Goodwill, like I said, an obscure record store, some of the illest, craziest places, yard sales.
Yard sales,
things like that, So what do you think is the hardest part about making beats for you right now?
Right now, honestly, I'm going to keep it 100 with you. I think my drumming has to get a whole lot better. I think that's one aspect of me in 2022 that I want to get better with is my drumming. More variety to my drums. Like I said, I listen to a lot of different producers like the Swifts and, Apollo Browns and the DJ Muggs and the Derringers, the Alchemists. I listen to a variety of stuff, the Ninth Wonders. And it's like, I need my drums to be not just so regular and plain. You need variety within the beat to keep the listener engaged and to keep the rapper engaged. They don't want to just keep rapping over the same pattern. So I think that's one thing I definitely want to start getting better at.
Right. Yeah, but you know what? And I found, I've been making beats for, like I said, over 20-something years, right? And I feel what you're saying on that, right? Because I'm not a drummer, you know what I mean? And I get tired of the same, So I love drum loops, breaks, you know what I mean? Chopping up the break a little something, because you can use their rhythm or whatever. And depending on how I start the beat, if I'm starting with the sample, if I'm starting with the drum, I love to find a drum break, drum break, and maybe chop it up a little bit and do like that, and then work from there. So when it comes to you making beats, are you starting with the sample first or the drums?
I like to chop up the sample first. Like, I really like to see where I'm going with it first.
Right.
And then I kind of hear the drums in my head. Like, if I'm chopping up a soul sample, I'll hear how I'm chopping it up, and I go boom, 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 boom. And I'll hear it in my head. And I'm like, all right, and now I know where everything is really supposed to lay down. So that's really what I'll do. I'll go through the sample and I'll find chops, and I'll be like, okay, I like that. And then I'll throw my drums in there, and then I'll try to, add things to it, give some spice, things like that.
So when you say when you find chops, I'm going to get specific, because we know it's where we're separating the sounds. Are you chopping in bars, or are you just taking little pieces? We're all taking pieces, of course, but you make sure each chop can loop, or how does that work for you?
So basically, sometimes I'll either manually chop it. Like, I'll take, let's say we have a 2-minute song, and I find a good 20-30 seconds of a song. And I'm like, oh, that's dope. I'll take that part, and sometimes I'll throw it in the machine, and there's a mode called detect, where it'll find certain chops for you that you may not have heard. Right. And then I'll use that sometimes, and I'll chop it. I'll take those chops, and I'll just play with it and go, okay, I like that. And then maybe I'll move it over a little bit and create another chop. And then sometimes I'll do it that way. So, it's sometimes it's just trial and error with me. And sometimes, like you said, I'll find a loop. I'll find an easy 3 to 4 second loop. It'll be either a 1-bar or 2-bar loop. And I'll just, have a 2-bar loop, and then something to just some different just to throw in there. And then I'll go right back to the 2-bar loop. It's just,
Right. So how do you know when to set your BPMs? I mean, do you preset your BPM? You say, okay, I'm gonna make this beat 85, I'm gonna make it 75. How do you do your BPMs?
There's a range that sometimes I stay within, and a lot of my homies say they can hear it. I stay within a 75 to 85 range. I've done 70 and stuff like that, but more of my steez is 75 to 85. Right. I've never really done a 90 and 95 BPM type beats. I mean, I can, but 75 to 85 is really my sweet spot. I love that.
Yeah, because I like those slower beats, because you can really hear what the MC is saying. They're not trying to chase the beat when you got a 95 BPM beat or whatever. I like those slower beats, so they can really, you can hear what the MC is saying or whatever, So when it comes to drums, have you learned about stacking drums yet? Making them bigger, or you just
I've heard about it. Sometimes you stack the snare on, you stack the snare sometimes to give it more of a hit, or I've done that before. I haven't done it a lot. I need to start doing it more, because even Swift, I was talking to him about it. He was like, yeah, man, you start stacking your drums a little bit. It gives it more of a feel,
That hit, yeah, definitely. And so with the chopping, you're saying sometimes it's auto chop. You just put it in, and they
sometimes I do that, or sometimes I'll go through the sample and I'll go, all right, I like that part. Boom, there's one chop. Boom, there's another chop. I'll make my own chops. Right, but sometimes, if I can't guess it, I'll throw it in the machine and I'll throw it into detect mode, and then I'll test it out. I'll put it on a certain percentage. And then I'll all right, I like that chop. And then maybe I'll move something over and create another chop, so it's all about trial and error,
Now, have you heard of YouTube, the MP3, where you can take the whole song?
Chop
through and just chop through it piece by piece, just chop through the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's another great way too.
Yeah. I know people that also do it in Audacity too. There's a program called Audacity where
I heard of.
Yeah, you could throw it in there and you can do your chops that way too. So
yeah, you can sample the whole song and just go through the whole song and pull out pieces and things like that. So what do you do like when you're playing your chops? Like, first of all, most of your chops, how many chops are you actually chopping up in a song for the most part? I know it varies, but what's on average? What's too much at times?
It depends on like if I'm speeding up the sample because maybe the chop may not be long enough. So if I put the pitch up a little bit more, maybe I'll need more room. So maybe I'll make the chop longer. So it depends. Like sometimes I'll use all 16 pads. Sometimes I'll use just 4.
All 16 chops.
Yeah, I've done that before. Yeah, and I've stretched it, and it's crazy. Like, and that was one I took like a good. Like I think it was like a 48-second sample, and I chopped it up, and each chop was just money. Everything was just good, and I was just using that for the first 4 bars. I may use the first 4 chops, and then the second 4 bars I may use another 4 chops, like because it gives it good variety, So yeah, sometimes I use all 16 pads.
Right. So when you make a beat, right, and is it all one sequence, or do you have it like sequence linked, like to put in like song mode?
It like basically, what I do is for my intro, like sometimes I'll have an intro to the beat and and then for my first 8 bars, I'll use like I said, I'll use like the first 8 pads for like chops. Then I'll have like a little, not interlude, what's it called? Like basically like a break in between the beat, and then I'll use my second set of chops for like the next 8 bars, and then I'll switch it up, and just always try to keep them guessing,
Gotcha. So you have sequence 1, sequence 2.
Sequence 1, break it up.
They can repeat a certain number of times, song mode.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's pretty dope. Okay, yeah. You working. I see you working. For someone who's out of the year, I see you really been you really been working or whatever. Now, I'm new to it. I mean, I'm not new to it, but you're new to it, and even myself, making beats for 20 years, you got those days where just nothing just clicks. It just doesn't click. I mean, and
I had that day yesterday. I had that day yesterday, bro. It was horrible.
Nothing clicks. I mean, for an hour, nothing clicks. I mean, and sometimes it's not just a day. Sometimes it's just you're just not inspired. Like, how do you get yourself inspired to get out that slump?
Well, I remember when it was probably like 6 months in. And I had a really bad couple of days. I'm just like, bro, like I can't think of shit. And it was horrible. And my boy who's been producing for a minute, he was like, Trav, take a step back, turn the shit off for 2 days. Don't touch it. Don't do nothing. Go live your life. Go do what you do. Go to the gym. This is back when everything was straight and I can go to the gym before all this COVID stuff and was real bad. He's like, go to the gym, go have a drink, go just do you. And trust me, when you come back, something's gonna hit you, and that joint's gonna be crazy.
Right.
I didn't listen to him at first because I went right back to it. But then the next day I was like, I'm not gonna touch it. The day after that, I woke up and I'm just like, I'm gonna make some shit today. And I got on there and I made like 3 beats in a row. It was like sometimes your mind just needs to reset because you're pushing it. Right. And even Free Mind said, I spoke to him and he was just like, bro, like it'll come to you. Like you'll feel inspired to make something, but when you're pushing it and when you're trying to force it, that shit ain't organic and it's not gonna sound good because it's not coming from the soul.
Right.
So he's just like, yo, don't force it. Take a break. Go do you. Go to work. Go to the gym. Do what you do, and something's gonna come to you and it's gonna hit you. And he was right. And I made like 3 beats the next day, and them joints all good.
It's crazy though, because sometimes the illest beats come in like 5 to 10 minutes. It just connects like that. And there's times, like I said, there's times, man, me personally, there's times I won't touch the machine in like a month or 2 sometimes, you know what I mean? And then when I get back on my groove, I'm just banging out. You know what I mean? And then there's times like, yo, I'm just right now, I'm not really inspired to make anything at the moment, but eventually, boom, and just be banging out. You know what I'm saying? So, exactly. I know exactly what you mean. So like the bass lines, man, are you putting bass lines in the beats or where are you finding your bass sounds?
So I'm actually trying to get better with bass lines. I know sometimes I'll find bass line. Well, Machine has bass lines within them. Like they have a whole thing full of instruments, but I'm new to playing bass line. So I would ask my homies, I'm like, yo, bro, like, how do you play a decent bass line? So I'm still learning to implement bass lines into my beats. There's like 2 or 3 beats I have where I have bass lines in them, but it's like, I want to get better at laying down bass lines because I listen to a lot of Knots, and Knots' bass lines are just insane. Like, you know, whatever he be on when he be making his beats is different. So I'll listen to some of his stuff. I'm like, yo, that bass line is crazy. Like, so like, I want to definitely get better at bass lines because it gives your beat so much substance and feel to it. It's like,
that low end.
Yeah, it's like that. Yeah.
So what I was doing a lot of times is, you know, you get your chops, copy them, and then filter them down, and it gets at that low end to it.
Okay.
You know? Yeah.
Okay.
You copy those chops, and then you take, you know, say you got like 4 chops, then you copy each one of them, and then you just filter it on down so you hear the and then
it gives a little bit of a bounce to it.
It gives it because every beat don't have to have an actual bass line. You know, you just got, as like I said, we're our talent is our ear. So, you know, we're just, you know, whatever you hear and things like that. Because nowadays, like, there's so many eclectic beats out there that sound dope. I mean, you look at like Rock Marciano, how he's just looping shit that's not even really, weren't even meant to be looped.
But Rock is crazy though. Like Rock needs so much more flowers when it comes to his production. Like, people don't realize some of the dopest, like some of the shit that he's done is just crazy. Like the joint he did for Conway's album, Crack in the 90s, off of Conway's new album. That joint is crazy. Like the beat is just so like different. You're just like, where did he come from with this? But it's just dope. Like it's crazy.
Right. And then that 2 Zips, that joint he did called 2 Zips was just
it's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Simple crazy shit that's just dope. You know what I mean? So it's like, you just got to just do you.
It's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? And somebody will find the beauty in it, you know?
And like that's one thing that I got to tell myself sometimes, because sometimes, you know, as we're, you know, as we're producers, we're our biggest critic. So we'll take shit and be like, this shit don't sound good, and just trash it. Meanwhile, somebody may hear that shit and go, bro, what the hell? That joint sounds crazy. Like, I'm like, yo, like, I've had people tell me like, Trav, you're your biggest critic. Like some of the shit that you played has been crazy and you just trash it because it's like, you're not feeling it. I'm like, because I just feel like, to me, sometimes I'm just so subconscious about my stuff. So it's like, I'll just be like, nah, I'm good. But I think this year I'm gonna start just letting it fly, and just whatever happens, man. Like, you know,
that's how you gotta be, man. That's how you gotta be. You're surprised who finds the beauty in what you do. Because there's a lot of beats I don't stand by, and dudes have used it, loved it. And I'm like, you like that?
You like that?
I just put that to fill up the beat CD that I gave you. You know what I mean, or whatever. You know? So this question I should have asked you at the beginning. 88 Blessed Beats. How did you get that name? Are you pulling from that 1988 era? Where's the 88 come from?
Well, I was born in 88, so I use that, and then blessed. You know, I just, you know, feel like, you know, I'm blessed to be doing this, because I feel like when I first started, I was like, yo, my ear for sampling and my ear for just knowing music is always like, even my mom, like, she'll be sitting down with me and I'll be picking samples, and she'd be like, how do you hear certain instruments and like that? I'm like, hey, I'm just blessed when it comes to certain shit. So she was like, yeah, because you're hearing stuff that I don't even hear in this song. I'm like, you don't hear that guitar, you don't hear that, you don't hear this. So I use that, and then, you know, it's 88 Blessed Beats, and then that's where it came from.
So 88, and you were born in 88, so you actually grew up off of what, like down south music, being from, you know, because the era, you know, because I'm 47, right? So I grew up when New York was New York or whatever.
Oh yeah, well, I was born in New York. I was born in Manhattan. I was raised in the Bronx. We moved down to South Jersey when I was in high school.
Okay.
So I'm from New York myself. So
right. So you're from that new kind of like new era where the people up top are being raised off down south music. So why didn't you go that route? Why the boom bap?
Well, honestly, I'll straight up, my brother, who passed away from heart failure back in 2005, I was always raised on the Wu-Tang Clan. I was raised on Hov. I was raised on Biggie. I was raised on Method Man and Redman, all that. So whenever I was little and I was riding in his car, that's all I would hear, you know? So that's where I've always loved boom bap hip hop, you know? you know, everything from Busta Rhymes to, you know, all that, you know, I was raised on that. So it's like, you know, whenever I hear that stuff, it's beautiful, you know, because that's all I know. And it reminds me of my brother, you know, so.
Right. Indeed. So you've been doing it for a year and you've got some decent placements under your belt. That joint you did with Spoda was fire. I love that.
Oh, Spoda.
Yeah. So how did you connect with a lot of these guys? Are you reaching out to them or are they reaching out to you? How are you connecting?
It's a combination of both. You know, I've gotten people come to me like, yo, man, your joint's really moving. And, you know, two artists that I really give a lot of thanks to, and basically all the thanks to were my homie J Hustle and my homie Motto. They gave my beats a chance. Like, you know, they were the first rappers to rap on my beats. And this is when I was just first starting. So I knew my shit wasn't great at all. So for those artists to really give you a shot, you know, and not knowing you from anywhere.
Right.
And just to rap on your beats, like I owe them everything. And they always encourage me. They always go, yo, bro, like, you know, just keep going, bro. Like you're gonna be one of the illest, yo. We can hear it already. You have that potential. We hear it in your beat. It's just you learning, you know, the tools of the trade. Like I said earlier, it's just you learning how to, you know, do certain things and just, you know, learning your machine and stuff like that. Right. But yeah, they were the first two that really gave me a shot. And then my homie Silk, he's nice as hell. He lives down here, but he's from up north. Great artist. You know, I would go to his house and play beats and he would freestyle over them just to like, you know, just to give me a vibe, you know. It's like, you know, there's so many artists that have given me advice and shown love, like the list goes on and on. I'm grateful for all those people.
So, you know, I know you want to be a full-time producer, a beat maker or whatever.
Yeah.
So one thing I've noticed, right, and you might have noticed too, the ones who have longevity, they seem to have come in the game with somebody. So like, you know, Guru had Premier, Pete Rock had CL Smooth, you know, like they aligned themselves with a particular clique or a particular artist and they grew. Ninth Wonder had Little Brother. Is that your goal or do you just want to just be freelancing and just selling beats?
I mean, I want to work with a lot of people. Like, you know, like I don't want to just align myself with just one group and just like, you know, push like, but like Motto and Hustle will always be like my go-tos. Like we'll always work together. Like between us three, like we'll always be like this. Right. But I always want to branch out to other artists and work with other artists and things like that. You know, I you know, because it gives you a chance to be versatile. When you work with different artists, you got to switch up your stuff and go, all right, it's time to get out your comfort zone. Now try to produce something for him or for her. You know, it could be anything, you know? So, you know, that's one thing that I want to do. I want to definitely, you know, spread my essence around and just be like, yo, he did this joint for me. He did like, you know, so.
Yeah, because I'm always used to producing like full projects. I've never really gave a beat here and there.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was always used to, you know, doing that. It shows that you can go down a project and, you know, have range instead of.
He said no singles. He said, I don't do singles. I do full projects.
I like to do full projects. I like to do full projects with people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I like to do, because I like a cohesive body of work.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
Full projects, you know, of course, you know, everybody wants to do their Dr. Dre, Diamond D, you know, type of project. Is that in the works for you?
Well, I did post one. Okay, so I think it was November or December. I said in 2022, I want to do a project with some of my favorite underground artists, the whole thing produced by me. Right. And maybe I might have one or two beats from my homie Xavier and Sire and maybe my homie Gavin, but it's going to be fully produced by me. So I want to pick the artist that I want on it. And that'll be like my first project by me. Like it's not a beat tape, but it's like I guess you could say like a compilation album, all produced by me with different artists. And I posted that, and I was just shocked by the reaction I got from all these artists. Like, yo, bro, let me know, bro, shoot me something. Like, you know, it's crazy. I was shocked because I'm like, you know, they don't have to really do that. They don't have to, you know, I don't have any, you know, real longevity in the game. I'm not one of these producers that, you know, my name is well known. It's like, yo, if he produced one of my joints, you know, I'm in there. Like, I'm brand new to the game. So when that happened, I was shocked, and I was also, you know, just very humble and just thankful. So
yeah. I mean, I've been making beats for like 20 years, and you know, one year, and you basically are really doing your thing out there. So I mean, I definitely applaud what you're doing. You know what I mean? So that's why I said I gotta get you on. I see you definitely putting in that work or whatever. You know. Now, as a producer, you know, I've also seen, and to me, I was thinking about doing it, but then I was like, I don't want to prostitute myself out like that. You know how people sell beats online and anyone can just buy them. Me personally, I'm like, I was gonna do that at one time, but I'm like, there's some people that you may not want rhyming over your joint, and they rhyming about some old crazy stuff.
Exactly.
You have no control over, you know, and it's like, you know, I've seen people selling beats $50, $25, $100. And I'm like, but that means any old body can jump on your joint that you
exactly.
Like, you know?
And that's crazy, man, that you bring that up, because I forget who I was talking to. I think it was Xavier. He was like, bro, I posted this beat on my BeatStars page, and some dude bought it, and he did no justice to that shit at all. He's like, yo, he was so pissed, he wanted to snatch it back. Like, no, give me that. I don't even want the money. Take, you know, he's like, yo, give me my shit back. Right. You know, but it's exactly like you said, like, you put this beat on your BeatStars page or whatever, and somebody buys it, and they do no justice to it, and you're like, damn, like, I put my heart and soul into this joint. It may be a beat you went crazy on, you know, and it's like, yo, like, this person bought it, now it's like, you get nothing for this.
So with that being said, you know, would you sell a beat to someone that you just didn't like? You didn't like their talent, and this could be someone that's hot in the underground that people like, but you're just not really into him. Would you sell him that beat?
Yeah, I mean, I would sell it to him. I mean, it's not like I would say no, but, you know, in the back of my mind, I would be like, I just pray he does this beat justice. You know, I just hope that, you know, he does, you know, he does his thing on it, and he just doesn't, like, you know, it's like, oh, come on.
Because a lot of times there's people out there that's hot on the underground doing their thing, but you're just not really into them. You know what I mean? And it's like, he's, you know, because I'm gonna be honest with you, there's a lot of guys out there, like, to me, they're nice, but they're average nice. They're not like mind-blowing. Like Nas, when he came out, was mind-blowing. Jay was mind-blowing. Big was mind-blowing. Jay Electronica was mind-blowing. You know, the lyricism. A lot of these dudes, man, we helped them out with these dope-ass beats, because a lot of them, they sound average. They're average, but we make them sound better over these ill boom bap beats.
Over the beat,
You know what I'm saying? And things like that. So they got the respect our gangster, man. They do.
Exactly.
There's a lot of dudes that are considered hot in the underground, but you're like, okay, he's nice, but he's average nice. He's not mind-blowing.
Like, there's songs that I've listened to where I'm like, yo, this beat's crazy, but, you know, the bars is just like, like, you know, they cool, but
they nice.
Your ears on the production.
On the production, so, you know, you just made them sound better. You know what I'm saying? They just, you know, and that's what I like a lot of these dudes now. I only like them because they pick the right production, the right beats to rhyme over. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, like I said, they gotta respect us and what we do. You know what I mean? And that's why I started strictly for my diggers, because a lot of times I don't think we get respected. We get taken for granted. You know, we give out beats, they go out there and they use our beats, they sell the music, and sometimes they leave us in the cold. And it's like, wait up, hold up.
You know? Like, I'm finally glad that that Apple, Tidal, and Spotify and all these streaming platforms are finally putting the producer under the actual song. Remember, sometimes it would just be the song title and the artists that are on the song. Now they're actually putting the composers, the producers, whatever they're like. I'm glad that they're finally giving the producer their flowers. You know, it's like,
because if I give you a beat for free, and the least you can do in the credits, even if you make a video produced by something, you know, produced by you know, or whatever, because I'm like, yo, like, we are one half of that, you know, of that record, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, you know, because we can sell beat CDs, they can't put out an acapella album. It ain't gonna work.
And that's the thing, like, you know, I mean, I could be wrong, but I've never heard an artist do a beat justice. I've heard a beat do an artist justice. Like I've heard a beat go, listen, like if you hear some of Hit Boy's shit and you hear some artists that you're like, they're okay, but you hear Hit Boy's production, Hit Boy's production stands out, which makes the artist look even better. So it's like, you know, but I've never heard an artist make a producer sound better.
Right.
You know, I could be wrong, but that I've never heard one. But
no,
you know,
like,
you know,
I haven't either. You know what I'm saying?
You know.
But yeah, man, I just want to thank you for chopping it up with me. You know what I mean?
Oh, thank you for having me, brother. Like I said,
strictly for my diggers,
I appreciate you.
Yeah, strictly for my diggers. You know, like I said, you know, my thing is different. You know, my platform is different. I'm reaching out to the people who are going to be coming up. So the Ninth Wonders, the Havocs, the Lost Professors, they're gonna have to reach back and give you that torch. You're gonna have to tell them, I sit down, I got this. You know what I mean? Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're gonna have to sit down and be like, here's the torch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And things like that. So
and like that's the thing, like my goal isn't to come in here and say, yo, I'm better than all these niggas and da-da-da. Like, no, I'm here to learn. I'm here to enjoy making this art, you know, because I consider this art. As producers, we're art. You know, we create this whole canvas and this whole picture for rappers to really, you know, go crazy on. So it's like what comes out of our minds is beautiful. So it's like, yo, it's dope talking to other. I consider us artists as well because we take this picture with our music. So it's you know, so I'm just grateful to be doing that and just I'm having fun doing it, you know. So
and this platform is Beatmaker to Beatmaker Talk. So, you know, a lot of beat makers, they loving the platform because I'm asking questions only a beat maker would ask.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You know, only in technique, you know, technical and things like that.
Like I said, I've heard some of your interviews. I think I heard was I think Free Mind was on one as well. There were a couple that you did that I'm really tuned in. I'm like, you know, they taught about how they chop up their drum breaks or how they use their drums or how they do their samples. Like I've used a couple of your episodes as
absolutely. Educational platform. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Educational platform. So you learn on this platform, you're going to learn about beat science. You're going to learn the science of selling beats. You're going to learn the science of how they feel about doing partnerships and the splits and what they prefer. You know? Because I know, like I said, we spoke before earlier, talking about how I noticed the people who have longevity as beat makers, they're always coming in the game, or if they come in the game, they're not just giving one person a beat, they're doing projects with different projects. And, you know, it may be 88 Blessed Beats and let's say Rome Streets, 88 Blessed Beats and Conway doing a project, 88, you know what I mean? Things like that. You know, that's what I like to see.
Yeah. And that's a goal of mine, man. If it's this year or even, you know, 23, man, I got goals, man. There's artists that I really want to work with that I have like a somewhat of a bucket list.
Yeah, where they're not just taking just one beat from you, one or two beats from you. You're actually producing, whether it's an EP or a full length.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it makes you like the artist now with, you know, 88 Blessed Beats and, you know, West Side Gun, 88 Blessed Beats, Rock Marciano, 88 Blessed Beats, and Knowledge the Pirate, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Things like that, you know?
Exactly.
So do you have a bucket list of anyone of the artists you want to work with?
Yeah. So I know RJ Payne was definitely one of them. RJ Payne is one of my top artists right now. Elzai has been great. Elzai's been great forever. Who else? There's like two more that Conway, obviously.
Okay.
Conway. And Bobby Benny. Like, you know, I know that those are far-fetched, you know, placements, but it's like, you know, as long as I keep grinding and keep doing my thing, things will come with time. You know?
I don't think they're far-fetched. They just gotta hear you, because a lot of those guys, you know, you think about it like back in the day, production was very expensive. You know, producers was getting, you know, 50,000, you know, the Just Blaze era, 50,000 a beat. So them to go to like the Havocs, the Large Professors, they'd rather find the hungry dude in his bedroom who's not gonna break their pockets, who might even give them the beat for free just to get out there.
That's true.
You know
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And you know, because they'll feel they're helping you out. So it's not really far-fetched. You probably can get on their project, because a lot of these people a lot of these producers I never heard of until I heard them on a West Side Gun project or a Conway project and things like that. You know, I had never heard of a Denny LaFleur until I heard Conway and West Side Gun.
Was Camouflage Monk. It's crazy.
Camouflage Monk, right. You never heard of these guys until they came out, you know, producing with West Side Gun and Griselda and things like that.
Yeah.
So, you know, a lot of times, you know, the playing field is open for us.
It is.
It's open for us. It really opens for us, because if the beat is dope, they're going to use it. Now, you may not get paid right away from it.
Yeah, and that's fine. Right. And that's fine, because I've learned that money isn't everything all the time. Like, you know, just you getting your foot in the door with a Griselda or RJ Payne or Elzai or Sky Zoo or you know, anybody that I'm naming, the money will come. That will come. But you just getting your foot in the door, now it's like, now it just branches out, because now once they heard all these artists are listening to this one artist. So now if you did production on their album, they're gonna go, who's 88 Bless Beats? Oh yeah, I gotta hit him and see what's good. Like, you know, like, you feel me? So once you get your foot in the door, that's all you need. You know what I mean? And money can't replace, you know, money can't do that. You know,
it's a resume builder and things like that. So then you can start charging those who are coming up that want beats or whatever.
Exactly.
And it puts a spotlight on you when you do your producer album or whatever, or when you do a project with another artist and things like that. Now you're doing the splits with this,
all that, like that. And then you'll get so nice to where artists will automatically just start bringing up prices. Like, yo, bro, I know how nice you are. How much you charge? You know, like, you won't even have to bring up a price, because they know what you're about and they know what you bring to the table. So, you know, after that, you know, it's like this.
Right. Yeah, man, I love your energy, man. I love your energy. You know what I'm saying? I love how you come through. Just stay humble.
Always.
You know what I mean? Stay humble. You know, there's been a few people I reached out to, and I'm like, okay, yeah, you got a little placement, 1 or 2 placements on a project, but now you want to act, you know, like you can't jump on here on.
Oh no, I would never. No.
And it's crazy. It's crazy because
I love talking to people that have the same enthusiasm and the same passion. Like, the conversation is just flawless. It's like it's easy. We could talk like this for hours, you know.
Right.
So,
that's why I be having to cut it short, because, man, some of these interviews, man, it's like an hour and a half. I be just kicking it with them, and you know, and we just talking beat science and just talking about the science of beats and, you know, things like that. Because we just, you know, none of this is scripted. We just kicking it. You know what I mean? Because I already know the questions I really want to ask, because it's education for me as well, to learn your method, what you do, how you do that. Well, damn, if you chopping up and the piece is not turning around like you want it, what do you do? You know, because you know, you've had that, and you know, you banging out with that last chop that just doesn't connect with the loop.
It doesn't connect with everything else.
Like, damn, you sitting here like you're going back and trying to maybe chop, because you're like a you're like a sculptor, and or what's the word I'm looking for? You got to chop it up, you know, right, to get it, you know.
You're basically like a surgeon, kind of.
Like a surgeon, right? Okay, like a surgeon. You're doing surgery. Yeah, you got to make sure that stitch and how you cut right here, and you know, sometimes you cut it too short, so you got to go back into the sample and find that piece.
Go back into it.
Find that piece and maybe sample it a little longer and get it trimmed. So if the you know, your sequence is 8 bars, it got to fit that last part.
That last bar,
last part, and whoop, and
this whole thing is not, you know, I think so many people think that producing is so easy. It's not easy. Like, it's really sitting down and really, you got to dissect that whole sample, because there may be the illest part of a sample 10 seconds in, or the illest part may be 4 minutes and 10 seconds in. You don't know when that part is going to come.
And you have to have patience.
Patience, exactly.
You have to sit there and you have to listen. Like, you know, like with me, sometimes I'll throw on, you know, and play a record, and I'll be laying on my couch just scrolling through my phone, and I'm like, oh,
there it goes. Yep. And you go there.
There it goes. Boom. Yep. You know, and then some days I'm listening for hours, like, no, That ain't it.
Nothing.
And then sometimes you jump up, that's it. You try to, it just, nah, that didn't work.
That's why I'm always so. Oh, my bad. I don't mean to keep you too long, bro. But that's why I'm always so fascinated when I watch the whole Rhythm Roulette series. You know, because I'm sitting there watching the Ninth Wonders and the Knots and the Derringers and the all the producers that Beat Butcher shit is crazy. I don't know if you've ever seen that episode with a Beat Butcher.
Yes.
And I'm sitting back just in amazement how this dude, like, he heard it, boom, okay, he did that. Then he did his drums. Then he did that. Then he laid the bass line down with the guitar. Then he added, like, it was just insane how he was just doing all this in such a short amount of time.
And that Rhythm Roulette, man, you got to be brave to do that because, sometimes, like, you may have, you may go on Rhythm Roulette and you pick them records and just nothing connects. And you're like,
nothing connects. Shit. Yeah. And then what do you do? Like, you're like,
looking at you like crazy. Like, for example, what's his name? And he's my number one producer right now, Derringer. But I saw his Rhythm Roulette and, but it was on the spot. I mean, he had
it was, and that's the thing. It's on the spot. So it's not like they have a chance to pick a sample, dissect it for like a day or two. No, you got to do it right in front of the camera. Like, that's pressure.
And that wasn't his finest moment, but if you look at his discography, he's sick with it.
Oh yeah,
crazy. I love Derringer. Derringer's crazy with it.
Derringer's crazy.
You know what I mean?
He's a bad dude. Like, between him and another person, like Alchemist, is just, he always amazes me, just the way how he's able to adapt with the times. If you look at his earlier stuff with Mobb Deep and things like that, and then now he's producing stuff for artists now, like the Action Bronsons and the and the Boldy James and the things like that.
He's so bi-coastal. Like, he works with that. I mean, he can go from working with the most boom bap gangsterous artists to the most hippiest, and it still be dope. Because there's a big difference between Dilated People and Mobb Deep, and it's still crazy. There's a difference between Dilated People and Currency. Alchemist hands down is
the Currency.
He hands down. He just, you can tell he eats, sleeps, and shits music. Like, that's all he does from the time he wakes up to the time he goes to bed.
And that's what, and that's the same type of wavelength I'm trying to be on, bro. I'm trying to get to a point to where I wake up in the morning and all I got to do is worry about making some coffee, going down in my basement, and I'll stay in there for 15, 16 hours if I got to, bro. Like, that's where I want to be.
Right.
It's going to take time, but that's where I want to be. Like, I want to be able to do that, so.
Yeah. Because you could tell he probably spends a lot of nights on the couch in his studio falling out. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I watched he had like a small little documentary. I think it was on NPR or something like that.
Right.
And he talked about how, like, bro, I'll be down there for 19, 20 hours a day. Right. I forget to eat. I forget to sleep. He says, yo, I hate to sleep because it's a waste of time because I'm wasting time when I can be making some shit. Like, it's like
right.
Crazy.
And it's constantly, you can tell he's constantly probably going through records. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So this whole beat making thing, no, it's not easy. It's not easy. Sampling is not easy. It's not. You know what I mean? It's difficult because you can hear ill sample, but there's one little thing in it that throws the sample off in the background where it doesn't loop right, or if there's drums in it that you don't want in it. You know what I mean?
See, okay, so that was the question that I was gonna have for you too as well, because I know sometimes there are so many fire samples that I hear, and there's drums in the background of it. And I'm just like, damn, yo, like, do you like filter that out? Like, do you try to filter that out?
Sometimes you just use it. Sometimes you just loop that shit.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just loop it and you just use it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've done that too. Sometimes you feel like it's cheating.
Yeah. And sometimes I feel like that too. Sometimes I'm like, this is too easy. Like, I could just loop this whole sample with the drums in it and just,
But remember this though, our talent is our ear. So it's that before we used to think about, a lot of times I used to think, it's all about taking a sample and chopping it up in a million pieces. And it can still be trash. But sometimes it's finding an ill-ass loop. It's all about finding something funky for the MC to rhyme over. It's not necessarily about, chopping. Like, and I don't like this website because it tells all the secrets. It tells your samples, but who sampled all that samples?
Oh, yeah.
They do? But
Oh yeah,
the
you
thing
sampled,
is,
yeah.
you'll be like, damn, that's all he did. You listen to this. Oh, all he did was take. He just
Yep,
looped
yeah,
that
and
shit,
then like you'll listen to it like that's all he took was just that little
and
loop
he
of him
just did
saying that, and
that.
that was
And
it.
this dude is considered crazy hot. I said, oh, I'm on the right path. There's a few times I was like, nah, that's not. And then when I started listening, you know, who sampled, because they do a sample state, you know, they sample snitch on a lot of these dudes. And I was checking some of these people out, and I'm like, damn, that's what he did. He just took
That's what he
that. He threw some drums in it. Oh, damn, he didn't even put no drums in it. He just looped that and just took that. And this dude
took that, and then
is
sometimes they'll
hot and
throw some
underground.
exactly, and sometimes they'll throw some sound effects in the background and make it their own. That's
right,
it.
and that's it. But you got to think about it. He's not making beats for me and you. He's making beats for the MC and for people who like the music. The average person that's listening to the music, they don't know.
They don't know any better. Yeah, they're just like, oh, this
it's dope to them. They don't know. You know what I'm saying? So we can't get caught up into that. Oh man, it's cheating. Ooh. You know what I mean? The fellow, because I don't, like I said, I don't make beats for you. I don't care if you like my beats. You're a beat maker. I care less. Because you're not gonna sit there and rhyme to my beats.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. I make beats for the MCs and for people who like instrumentals, who like music. I don't make beats to please Ninth Wonder, to please Havoc, Camouflage, none of them. I could care less if they like my beats. They're beat makers just like me.
Exactly.
So so, you know, and a lot of times, even with me, I don't know what they did unless I hear the actual sample. Like, oh, okay, that's what he did. All right, cool. But the average person who doesn't make beats, the average MC who doesn't make beats doesn't know. He just knows it's funky. He can rhyme to it. Exactly. You know what I mean? Just like even like when it comes to like certain beats, there's certain beats that are not mixed or whatever. But the average person don't notice. Maybe an engineer who's like, damn, that's a horrible mix. But the people who are dancing and nodding their head to that shit,
they don't care about a mix. They're just
so don't fall victim to all of that. Oh, you're cheating. No, if it sounds funky, because the whole thing is to be a sound provider for these MCs and give them something funky to rhyme to. So if it's drums in it and it's funky enough to, man, loop that shit.
Loop it. Yep. Just loop it. And I think that's one thing that's one thing that I'm definitely going to start doing this year. Like I said before, I'm going to stop getting in my own head and just let it fly. Like nobody fuck with it. But hey, it was a thought in my head, and hey.
Because trust me, once I heard what some of these hot underground beat makers are doing, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm on the right track. I'm on the right track. I've been overthinking it. I'm like, damn, I've been overthinking it. Because damn, that's all he did. Because you got to realize, I didn't know the sample when I heard the song that the beat maker made for the MC. When I heard the song, then when I hear the original where they got it from, I'm like, oh, that's all he did. Yeah, I can do this. I'm saying, damn, I'm overthinking it.
Yep,
I'm racking my brain trying to make a beat. And this dude just whoop.
Yeah, there's one producer that does that all the time. I think Craven does it all the time. Nicholas Craven will take a soul sample, loop that shit, and then put a little chop in there to kind of offset it so it doesn't sound so repetitive. Right. But yeah, he does that a lot. Nicholas Craven is one of the illest producers out right now.
Right, and he's ill.
Crazy.
He's ill. So you know what I mean? Man, listen, keep doing your thing and don't worry about nothing. Like you said, let it fly, man. Let it fly. You know what I mean? Because one thing with this beat thing, it's like, you notice, like I think, who was it? It was Black Rob's Whoa. That went through so many different hands because people didn't know what the fuck to do with it. A lot of the I think Jay-Z passed on it. A few people had passed on it, but then Black Rob made a hit out of it. Out of Whoa, Many Men by 50 Cent. I think the Bravehearts had it, Diplomats had it, and 50 Cent made the hit. Yeah. So you'll be surprised how, if you have beats and you're shopping beats around, if this person turns it down, send it over here because this person may like it and make a beat out of it. And another MC's like, damn, I had the chance to have that beat.
I had something,
Right. Yep. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, nah, man, like everybody ear is different. Me and you can have the same record, right? But we hear the record differently.
We hear differently. Yep.
You can take the same loop and use the same loop, but I use it differently. My endpoint may be different. You may hear the same loop. The loop may actually, your loop may be 8 bars, mine may be 4. You know what I mean? I may pitch it up. It's all in how you hear.
It's all about the ear.
Right, because anyone can teach you how to use the equipment, but can you drop that needle on that record and hear in your interpretation? You feel what I'm saying? Because I'll be like, damn, I had that same sample. Why didn't I think of that? You know what I'm saying? Word. And the same vice versa, like, damn, he had that. Why didn't I think about that? You know what I'm saying? So it's all about interpretation, man. How you interpret. And that's it, you know? That's about it. Yeah, man. But I'm gonna let you go. I know, because we can talk for hours, man. We can talk for hours.
Like I said, we can do this forever, man. So
right. So yeah, man, just keep doing your thing. I like what you're doing. Stay humble. I'm watching and things like that. And like I said, you're the first person I reached out for season 3.
Okay. Like I said, man, thank you so much for having me, man. I'm gonna be sending you some stuff. Like I got some beats in my phone that I can send you and stuff like that. You know, you can shoot me your math or whatever, email, whatever. And I'll definitely send you some stuff that I've been working on and stuff like that.
Yo, sounds good.
All right, brother.
All right, salute, my nigga. Peace.
All right, bro. You be good, man.
All right, peace.
Peace.